In this section, I'll be covering the exergy and some of the portion from the gas standard cycle. In this PPT, I have not included any formulas from the exergy, but I'm going to cover the basic fundas, and it has a very few formulas and one simple concept of one of the. So I'll just cover those concepts, and afterward that I'll start with this gas standard cycle. So exergy in the chapter mostly uh, Gate will not ask the question on it, and but if they were asked only on the irreversibility and the total amount of energy they were be available or unavailable. On the basis of that, apart from that, they will not ask any other question. So I'll explain the only fundamental that where it has and whatever the energy do you have, in the sense you take an example of a heat in which you have seen in previous chapter that we have supplied from sink q amount of heat to the heat engine, and q2 amount of heat is going to s to the sink, and the difference between that two heat, whatever is there, that is a work output. So uh, heat is nothing but the low grade of energy, and from that second law of thermodynamics, we are very well known that we have to emit some amount of energy. So whatever energy is going to be to the sink, that is called unavailable energy, and the portion of energy is converted into the work form, that is called as the your useful work. This portion and total the whatever the portion you are getting out of that, it is useful work. That in the chapter it's called unavailable energy and available energy. So, and if you take example of Carnot cycle, Carnot cycle has two isothermal process and two adiabatic process, in which whatever the portion on you just take this Carnot cycle on the TS diagram. So in TS diagram, it's like a simple rectangle or square on the TS diagram. So whatever the portion come under this area of that on that diagram is nothing but the heat we are going to supply to it, and whatever the energy at the bottom, whatever the area left behind the cycle, it is nothing but the energy we are wasting, and the portion of that energy we have to it can be mentioned in the form of whatever the temperature at that condition, and the entropy generated in that portion, that is delta S. So that energy you are emitting to the atmosphere, and that is called as the unavailable form of the energy. If you uh, if you uh, if you want to generate the maximum amount of work out of this Carnot cycle, so you are very well aware that if your output temperature of that heat is uh, equal to the atmosphere temperature, then the output work of your heat engine is extremely good, and that is and that temperature it will give the highest efficiency of your heat engine. But you think that after reaching that temperature, it will not able to emit that heat in the atmosphere, because if the temperature of that two things will become equal and the pressure will become the same, then it will be very difficult to send that whatever rejected heat into the atmosphere. So if you want to calculate the maximum work out of this Carnot engine, so you're very well aware that thermal efficiency of the cycle equal to the Carnot efficiency. From that, thermal efficiency is the total work output divided by the heat input to the that system. And the Carnot efficiency is 1 minus T2 divided by T1. So T2 is the the final temperature, and T1 is the initial temperature. If the final temperature of that Carnot cycle reach to the atmospheric temperature, in that condition, whatever work you will get, it is the maximum amount of work you can find out with respect to this. And this can be generated as in this the three formula is basically important. One is Q max, the W max, which is nothing but the work maximum, which is Q input in bracket 1 minus T atmosphere divided by T1. Second formula is about unavailable energy. That is nothing but the temperature of your atmosphere T0 into the entropy generated in the multiplication of that too. And available energy is that the Q amount of input to the system and minus unavailable energy. That is nothing but T0 delta S. So from this 2 3 formula, you will get most probably the question from this formula only. Otherwise, there'll be two and this exergy they will calculate for the open system as well as closed system. So the closed system, the work maximum which our output is U2 minus U1 minus T0 S2 minus S1. So that formula is useful for the closed system, and the notation is a Hamilton function used to called as U minus T0 delta S or S simple. So this is the delta this example, and this is for the closed system. And for the open system, it's noted at delta H minus T0 delta S, and in which this is another formula. And the third irreversibility is most important in this chapter. The irreversibility nothing but the maximum work output minus the actual work. And also this irreversibility can be calculated as the atmospheric temperature into the entropy generated by the universe. So from this is all are the formulas from the this chapter. And mostly question will not arise from this chapter. And you should if you want to skip any portion, then you can skip this chapter. Otherwise you should keep this 3 4 formulas in your memory, so it will be helpful if in any condition if they ask you question on this chapter. So now we will start with the gas standard cycle. And in this portion you will get many question, at least 2 3 question you will find out in your date. So in this chapter I will start with Breton cycle. The Breton cycle is one from the ideal gas cycle. Whatever you see in this Breton cycle in actual condition, the whatever the fuel, whatever the air is going inside, it's not ideal form, but due to our study purpose, we assume as the ideal thing, because when you consider this gas is the ideal gas, then the property to find out this, it is quite become easier, because your ideal gas equation will be applicable to this. And from this we are going to explain this reversible Breton cycle. And this cycle also called a Joule cycle. And it has a two form of the cycle. One is the closed cycle, one is the open cycle. And what is the basic difference between these two cycle is open cycle, which is take the air from the atmosphere and also reject the heat in the atmosphere. Due to this, it create a little bit trouble to the your turbine blades, because in atmosphere there are many foreign particle will be available, and also the dust is there. So whatever content which is present with air, it is also passed through this turbine. And due to this foreign particle, your turbine blade get eroded, and corroded because there may be just because of this drawback of this pure air form, and this can be eliminated with respect to closed Breton cycle, because in closed Breton cycle you can add whatever air you want to, and in this mostly they use we, this neutral gases uh, to run this cycle, because in neutral gases, which is not uh, do any chemical reaction on this turbine, and also they don't have any harmful thing, and also their specific heat capacity is quite higher. If it has more specific heat, then it is quite good for the gas cycle. So I'm going to explain the first type, the open cycle. In this open cycle, it is noted on the PV diagram. It is going from the first to second, second to third, third to fourth, and fourth to back to the one. Uh, the first and second position, nothing but it is a compressing procedure. The first position in which the atmosphere air, whatever is available in the atmosphere, it is taking into the compressor. So it is basically the inlet of your compressor, and after that it get compressed in the adiabatic condition. So it is in that condition the work is input to the compressor, and it after it is reached on the second position, that is nothing but this second condition is the condition in between your compression the compressor and the combustion chamber. So uh, at the second temperature, the pressure of that in that condition will be the higher, and also some of the heat is get added into it, just because of it is adiabatic condition, and its compression process we are going to add work into it, and just because of that, and also due to the mechanical efficiency of that machine, so the temperature of that air also get heated, and it reach to the stage second stage. But in this condition, it we assume as the ideal condition. That is why it is not added into it, and it's take as a second burner condition. Otherwise, in real condition, the temperature going too high comparative to this ideal condition. So after that, it is a 2 to 3 process. In this process, it's a closed chamber, combustion chamber. In this chamber, it's a heat addition process. It's a combustion process in actual condition, but in this cycle, we have assumed that heat addition process, in which we add heat to the that whatever air we compress, and after that it get superheated, and it reached to the third position. At third position is the position just in between the your compression, your turbine and the combustion chamber. So at that condition, if it is iso superheated, then after that it is pass through your turbine, and there it get expand, and after expanding it gives the work output, and yeah, from that it is also once again sent to back to the atmosphere, and at the same pressure, so atmosphere. And in this condition they will assume that the inlet condition and the outlet condition are at the same pressure, but it is not the real condition. In this real condition, if the both temperature, your exit pressure and the atmosphere pressure will be equal, then you need to extra effort to push that rejected heat into the rejected air, heated air into the atmosphere. So it is not the real condition, but in this chapter, we assume that we have taken as at the constant pressure. Both are inlet and exit are at the same pressure. So in this cycle, there are two adiabatic process and two constant pressure process. So it's also called isobaric process and reversible adiabatic process. Similarly, we have drawn on the TS diagram. So first process is 1 to 2 process, which is adiabatic, which is nothing but the entropy will constant. After that, it's a pressure process, and it has a negative slope on positive slope on the TS diagram, which is represent the horizontal line in PV diagram. So after that, there will be expansion process, which is 3 to 4, and it's also a adiabatic process, which is represent vertical line on this TS diagram. And from there, work output we have taken. And once again at constant pressure, it come back to 4 to 1, and it shows uh, uh, the positive slope line at the bottom on the TS diagram. So here the pressure of P2 and P3 will be the same, and the P1 and P2 will be the same. If you take a relation between P1 divided by T1 equal to P2 V2 divided by T2, now from that relation, and secondly, uh, for the open cycle, whatever the temperature at inlet and exit of that turbine is also we have taken equal, both are equal. In this chapter, whatever the temperature at the inlet and the temperature at the third condition, maximum temperature, will be always given in this ratio. And whatever the pressure ratio of this compressor, all the compressor have their pressure ratio. If you want to highly pressurize your passing air, then you have to add multiple compressor. But in this condition, we have taken as a single compressor. So where at the inlet the pressure is P1, and when it get compressed, that time the pressure will become P2. And if you take the ratio of these two, that P2 divided by P1, it will become the pressure ratio. And similarly, just because of the both, it has the two uh, uh, constant pressure process, that is 2 to 3 and 4 to 1. Just because of the similarity, we have taken as the pressure ratio P2 equal to P2 divided P1 equal to P3 divided by P4. So in this condition, there are two processes which are adiabatic process, and that on that on previous chapter we have seen this relation between the adiabatic process between the pressure temperature. So it is denoted as the T2 divided by T1 equal to P2 divided by P1 raised to the gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. And we have to replace that P2 divided by P1 is nothing but your pressure ratio of your compressor. So replace that, and we are also mm, we have above seen that it is also the expansion ratio and pressure ratio, the compressor ratio, both are the same. So that it is also can be uh, denoted as that T3 divided by T4 equal to P3 divided by P4 raised to the gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. And both for the compression pressure ratio and the expansion pressure ratio, both are the same. And in this condition, if you want to find out the thermal efficiency of this cycle, then the thermal efficiency of this cycle in the common manner, if you take this formula, and efficiency of thermal is equal to 1 minus rejected heat divided by heat input to that system. So this formula is applicable for the each and every cycle. But if you put the relation, whatever the equation for the input heat and rejected heat, if you put into it, you will get this below formula, that thermal efficiency is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by pressure ratio raised to the gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. And this is applicable only for the reversible process. And this formula is very much important, because most of time they used to ask directly on this to find out the thermal efficiency of this Breton cycle. And in very few example, they used to ask that they will give you the volumetric ratio, that RB, and from that you can find out the thermal efficiency for this Breton cycle, which is nothing but 1 minus 1 divided by RB divided by gamma minus 1. And in this RB is nothing but the pressure at the first position divided by pressure at the second position, which is we have taken from the PV relation. Also, they used to ask a few this quantities that back work ratio. Back work ratio means nothing but whatever work you have supplied to the compressor divided by the whatever work you have generated from the turbine. And in this condition, whatever work you have generated from the turbine, you also supply to the compressor. And some of that energy, whatever you generated from the turbine, used to compress this air, and remain energy used to supply to the other accessories of this aeroplane or this cycle. And the work ratio is also one of the important quantity. So in this it is nothing but to the work net work divided by the turbine work, and which is also the network, which is nothing but the difference between the turbine work minus the compressor work, which is nothing but whatever will be the remaining work which is developed by the turbine minus divided by whatever you supplied from it, and the remaining work used for the another thing. And also it is noted as a 1 minus divided by 1 minus back work ratio. This is the condition used for, and this cycle has few basic condition which is very much important, and this formula extremely just keep in mind. Definitely there will be the they will ask direct question on this, otherwise you will get a relative question on this, which is maximum work assumed in this condition. And this is all the process are for the reversible process. In this procedure, they were asked what is the maximum work output from this process in a real condition at a certain pressure ratio, because you are very well aware that if you start increasing the pressure, your output getting whatever the output you get on the turbine will become the maximum. At a certain period, it will be the maximum work output, but at certain level, it will get reduced, and at a certain position, if you extremely increase your pressure ratio, then your turbine will not sustain this pressure ratio, and it will get burst. So it has a limitation that it should not operate below certain level, and it will not operate at a certain maximum pressure ratio. So it should be in optimum bandwidth. So to find out this, we have taken as the Breton efficiency equal to Carnot efficiency, because it is we have assumed as a reversible cycle in this. So in this reversible cycle, both this efficiency, that Carnot efficiency, and your Breton cycle efficiency will become equal. In this condition, if you replace the Breton cycle 1 minus divided by 1 upon Rp raised to the gamma minus 1 divided by gamma equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. So the one minus get cancelled from the both sides. If you reshuffle that remaining quantity, you will get this Rp maximum, which is nothing but the temperature maximum divided by minimum temperature raised to the gamma minus 1, which is shift on the other side. And take the Rp raised to gamma minus 1 divided by gamma from to shift the ratio from this Rp to the temperature. You will get this formula, and this is for the maximum pressure ratio. And if you differentiate this formula with respect to network, then that whatever network you are getting from this, if you differentiate with respect to the pressure ratio, you will get the optimum pressure ratio, and that is nothing but the square root of the maximum pressure ratio. And in the simple format, whatever is there, if you put the above formula in the below formula, so you will get that T maximum divided by T minimum raised to the gamma divided by 2 raised to gamma minus 1. And this formula is extremely important. And keep in mind there it has a opposite manner. The whatever the you have seen that Carnot efficiency is the 1 minus minimum temperature divided by maximum temperature. But just for remember, you should keep in mind that in it is opposite to the temperature is opposite to the Carnot, and in this Carnot the maximum is at the numerator and the minimum at the denominator. And in gate they were also used the word as a critical pressure ratio, and where regeneration is 0. Degree of regeneration is 0. These two term they will sometime ask that what is the pressure ratio at the critical pressure. So this that time also you need to apply this formula. And there are few conditions where you have to find out the maximum work condition. And maximum work condition in the Breton cycle is that whatever heat you rejected from the turbine, the same heat is getting at the compressor, which is nothing but the temperature at the T2 and the temperature at the T4, both are equal. And just because of that, no, both are equal, and 1 and 3 you will get to know that all the time it will be given to you. And just because of this condition that both the temperature are equal, then the remaining temperature that T2 and T4, it will become the geometrical mean of this two temperature. That is nothing but T2 equal to T4 equal to under root T1 minus T1 into T3. And in this condition, if you want to find out the maximum work or output, which is nothing but it is little bit different. You have to keep in mind because this is quite often asked in the gate exam, because it's a certainly condition, and basically they were focused on the certain condition, not the format whatever you have seen above. So it is it is noted at the CP into in bracket under root 3 T3 minus under root of T1 whole bracket square. This is your maximum work output from this specific special condition. And in this condition, if you want to find out the your efficiency of this cycle, so it is nothing but 1 minus under root T minimum divided by T maximum. Here you have to remember that this is equal to, but this is related to your Carnot efficiency, and it's similar to Carnot efficiency because upper temperature is minimum and the lower temperature is maximum. But only difference is that you have to take this both in the square root form. And below formula I will explain afterward. So whatever I have explained that if the pressure ratio should be optimum, where you will get maximum work output. Otherwise, there will be very much complication. So here we have seen this three condition that RP at the pressure ratio first. One, if the pressure ratio is 1, in this condition you are very well aware that efficiency formula is 1 minus under root gamma RP raised to the gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. If RP is equal to 1, then the efficiency will become 0. If efficiency will become 0, then work also will become 0. So uh, so the whatever the cycle which will be seen on the previous page, the similar cycle will become turn out to be the 2 to 3 process, which is you can see on this PDF. So this is the minimum pressure ratio. If you take the maximum pressure ratio, at this pressure ratio, your pressure will be maximum, and in this condition whatever efficiency you got is it's equal to the Breton cycle efficiency. But in the Breton cycle efficiency, uh, you can find you can get to know that in this RP is maximum if it is Carnot efficiency, then the work output of your thing is zero, whatever from the work, and it is this TS diagram does not hold any heat. That is why the work output is also zero. Just because of that, this maximum output condition at you will get at the maximum optimum pressure ratio. And these three formulas, as per we seen in this previous page. So from this condition, we are get to know this is that pressure at the optimum pressure ratio, you will get the maximum work output. This condition is also very much important for the Breton cycle. In this Breton cycle, you are very well aware that machine has in the real condition, machine work very differently, and in this thermodynamical manner, they were you work very differently. In this condition, they were add like it's moving and nothing is happened to this air, but you are very well aware that if you compress this air, it will get heat up after some pressure ratio. If you increase the pressure ratio, the temperature of that air will get increased continuously. And if you expand this then this condition also, the some amount of heat is get added into it, and that is nothing but the mechanical efficiency, which is nothing but the mechanical efficiency of your thing is less, and whatever mechanical efficiency is less, because of that whatever the remaining efficiencies that which is get added into the entropy, and entropy is nothing but unwanted heat get generated over there. So the previous year diagram you have seen the TS graph. In this graph, yeah, that you have to remember that one to it goes from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and T to 2 to 4, which is ideal condition. But due to this mechanical efficiency, it get a little bit heat add into it, and which is reached to form 1 to 2 dash, not a 2. And similarly, if you get expanded in this condition, the temperature it will reach at the level 4 dash, not the 4. In this condition, the 2 dash it has a higher temperature comparative to T2, and in the expansion, which is at temperature at T4 dash, which is comparative higher to the T4. And if you want to find out the work in this condition, so ideal condition, which is work of compressor, which is T2 minus T1 multiplier of Cp. But in actual condition, if you want to find out the work input to the your compressor, which is nothing but a Cp in bracket T2 dash minus T1. This is your ideal. This is actual condition of your work input to the compressor, and similarly for the turbine as well. For the turbine, if you want to work generated by the turbine in ideal condition, which is nothing but Cp in bracket T3 minus T4. But in actual condition, if you want to find out the work, which is nothing but Cp in bracket T3 minus T4 dash. If you find out the network, which is nothing but the actual work of your turbine minus the actual work of your compressor. So from that you will get the net work out of this cycle, and the Q input to this cycle, uh, that is in ideal condition, which is Cp in bracket T3 minus T2. But in actual condition, you will get to know that whatever heat you are going to add in this condition, it get reduced just because of this heat effect. And it will turn out to be the heat input to the in this cycle is 3 Cp in bracket T3 minus T2 dash. And if you want to find out, they were used to give the mechanical efficiency of this turbine and compressor, and they used to ask find out the temperature of any particular stage. But some condition they used to find calculate ask to find out the mechanical efficiency of this two machineries. So in this condition, if you want to find out, just keep in mind this TS diagram. So the second law efficiency. It's also called as the second law efficiency of this machinery and mechanical efficiency. So if you find out the mechanical efficiency and second law efficiency of a compressor, just keep in mind you have to move from the left to right, from 1 to 2 position and 1 to 2 dash position. So uh, just go with that firstly T2 minus T1, because T2 at the higher temperature, that's just because of that we have did T2 minus T1 divided by and T2 dash minus T1. This is your compressor efficiency. And the mechanical and second law efficiency for the turbine is also, yeah, this time you have to move from the right to the left. Here you will get this formula that T3 minus T4 dash divided by T3 divided by T3 minus T4. And these are the two efficiency. And if you want to find out the optimal pressure ratio for this condition, this condition in which the previous page we have seen this formula as well, and the similar formula is used where if they used to give you the both second law efficiency for this turbine as well as the compressor. In that condition, you have to find out the optimal pressure ratio for that mm, this particular cycle. So in that cycle, it will be similar to that your optimal pressure ratio formula, but only thing is you have to multiply with your efficiency, because it get reduced from the your maximum pressure ratio. So it will remain the actual pressure ratio for this ideal condition cycle. And secondly, we will talk about the combustion chamber. Combustion chamber is nothing but in actual condition plane used to add heat into it, and the heat is will be generated by burning the fossil fuel. But here, we are not adding fossil fuel, but we consume as the heat addition process. But if you ask to find out the mass pool is given and caloric value of this that fuel is given, then it will become the real condition. And that condition and this condition is used for the open system combustion chamber, because in which we are heating that air directly from the in the combustion chamber. This condition is moving from to 2 to 3 forces, which is at the 2 dash. The mass of air is coming in the combustion area, and in combustion area it has some mass of fuel and the whatever the caloric efficiency of that fuel, and this efficiency of that combustion chamber. Because efficiency, why is that needed? Because if you're passing air, high pressure air, then some of the air get passed through it, and some of the air it is which will not get heated while passing through it, because the area will be area is quite higher, and some of heat is will be not get heated, and this is called as the bypass factor, and which is covered in the last chapter. So just keep in mind this efficiency of this combustion chamber is nothing but the ineffectiveness of the heat transfer to the air, and in the output condition, which is at the third stage. In the third stage, whatever air you had added into it, and whatever the mass of fuel you burn, which is simply turn into some form of the byproduct, and which is like mass of air plus mass of fuel get out of this thing. So from this, sometimes you used to ask the air fuel ratio of this things. If you increase the air fuel ratio from the one, it is almost 120 to 150 as to one in this in actual condition. If the air fuel ratio of your this turbine will get increased. In this condition, the coolingness of that turbine get improved, because the amount of the air is passing through this turbine, the higher the cooling effect will be created over there. So most probably they were used to keep in between 120 to 150. So in open system, if you find the air fuel ratio for this closed open system of combustion chamber, that is something but the air fuel ratio uh, into Cp of air into at a T2 temperature plus specific caloric value of fuel into uh, which is just simply if you divide, if you find out this formula, this is the actual formula, but if you want to find out in simple manner, just calculate the mass, which is mass into mcpt mcpt T2 plus mcv into calorific value plus ma plus mf divided by cpe, which is cpe is the specific heat at this emission, whatever is emitted out of it, gases, that is CPE is different from the your CP of air at T3 temperature. But if you divide it both side by mass of air, then it will become air fuel ratio. So it will turn out to be air fuel ratio into CP of air into temperature at T2 position plus uh, CV plus MC CV into the efficiency of your combustion chamber equal to in bracket 1 plus air fuel ratio into CPE, that is your whatever the air or the byproduct come out of it and multiply by the temperature at the third position. And in a similar manner, it has a different closed system combustion chamber in which there will be no direct heating to the process, in which simply one combustion chamber is separated from the your airflow in your turbine or the combustion chamber. Both are get separated by a pipe, and whatever the heat is generated in this condition, which is simply passing through the pipe, and which is the whatever the pipe is there, which is also passing through the combustion chamber, and similarly opposite side the fresh air is passing. So it get heated heat by the convection as well as the radiation process. So in this condition, the whatever the air is coming at the position, the same air getting out at the third position, there will be no mass of fuel get added into it. So in this condition, if you find out the air fuel ratio, which is turned out to be air fuel ratio, that specific heat of air multiplied by T2 plus this calorific value of fuel into the uh, multiply by your efficiency of that combustion chamber equal to the air fuel ratio of CPA. Here CPA will be the remain same because whatever air get in this combustion chamber, the same air is getting out of this. There will be no mixing of this mass of fuel into it. Just because that specific heat of that air remains same, and which will be multiplied by at the temperature of T3. This is the another condition, which is this is a simple concept that the free shaft turbine condition. In this free shaft turbine condition, they used to use two-step turbine. One is the high pressure turbine, and second is the low pressure turbine. So in this condition, you are in this condition there is a simple concept is that whatever work is generated by high pressure turbine, which is used to generate the compressor, that is used to run your compressor, and the low pressure compressor, which is used to supply the energy to the accessories, and the pressure ratio for this condition is the compression ratio for the high pressure turbine multiplied with the compression ratio for the low pressure turbine. If you multiply to each other, then the pressure ratio will become T3 P3 divided by P5 condition. So if you want to denote on the this thing on your TS diagram, it will be noted as a 1 to 2 process, 2 to 3 process will be the same. And when it will come to turbine 3 to 4, it's a high pressure turbine, and 4 to 5 it will become low pressure turbine. If you find out the net work output from this, the work output by your high pressure turbine, which is nothing but CP, in bracket T3 minus T4. This is for the work generated by high pressure turbine, and for the low pressure turbine, in CP in bracket T4 minus T5, and the work compression will be the same for the uh, remain same for the both condition. So the next is regeneration gas turbine. In this regeneration gas turbine, the concept we will be covered in the subsequent lecture. So there we will explain the what is why this regeneration is used in your turbine condition, and what is the main goal of this regeneration.